And I agree with Khushbu, before people take to Raisina Hills once again, some concrete steps should be taken to prevent it. Like, you know, like maybe the government, the parliament should
unless there is exemplary
a law where educational institutions should
let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you
Rupali, just wait on. Rupali, just wait on.
Psychological profiling of teachers.
Rupali, just wait on.
Psychological profiling of teachers.
Okay.
Rupali, just wait on.
Because I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I'm a mother. 1 year later, my child is going to go to school, and after parents, the child spends maximum time at school, and it is not possible for any parent to sit at home and, you know, with their heart in their mouth every day.
But I think Anika makes a really important point. Anika makes a really important point.
Is going to be punishment, severe punishment.
Where is the fear? Yes. What about the punishment? Where is the fear of the law?
You know, we are talking about the law afterwards.
Fear will come only when there is severest of punishment.
Yes, Anika.
Start with severe punishment. Without severe exemplary punishment, you cannot.
Let's add a suffix to that severest of punishments, Anika. Let's say there should be severest of punishments to those people, Chandana Chakravarti, to those schools. Even before an incident happens, there should be surprise checks. The BDO and those responsible should be pulled up, because they need to make these surprise checks once in 3 months, just to see, are CCTV cameras involved? Who's escorting these children? Who's watching? Who's minding the minders?
The police needs to be pulled up. The schools need to be pulled up.
Who's minding the minders? And that responsibility, Dr. Patra.
And the court can take this as a PI.
No, the court doesn't need to come in. That responsibility, Dr. Patra, lies with the state governments. That responsibility, be it the BJP-led governments, Congress-led governments, or any other party, responsibility lies with the state governments, and that's why we ask, isn't it also a responsibility of the state to prevent these events from happening?
It is mandatory for all the schools to have a PTA, okay?
Yeah.
PTA is Parent-Teacher Association. Yeah. Most of the schools discourage it. Most of the schools that don't have a PTA. Parents have all the rights to form an association. Parents have all the rights to have surprise.
No, make it a simple system. If the schools are discouraging a PTA, let the complaint go to the local BDO or the education department, and let that school be slapped with a fine. Why can't it be as simple and straightforward?
Shambhit Patra.
No, firstly, the school hasn't acted for 1 whole week. Cancel its license. The first thing that can be done is that.
Exactly.
Pull the police up for not having acted independently in this case. How long are we going to wait for this? And if you wait for politicians, all you will get is an epidemic of foot and mouth disease.
Yes, that's what we got so far. That's what we got so far.
Shambhit Patra,
you've been very quiet tonight, and you know, we know you well enough to know that that's usually not the case. Give some assurance to the parents who are here on the debate with us and to all those watching. What are you going to do about this?
See, first, I was very quiet in this debate because I feel debate of this kind should not have any kind of cacophony. They should have an element of seriousness, and we should surely speak only when our turn comes. Because
you don't
otherwise
see seriousness
gets out.
No, he sees, and that's the point perhaps he's trying to make. I speak for him here. Yes, Dr.
That's the reason as to why I'm saying that there should be no cacophony, and that's the reason I was not interjecting anyone. I was listening to all of your suggestions very carefully. And well, I agree that though no amount of politics should crop it into this, but remember one thing, I mean, as far as our discussion is concerned, in the present cases, we were discussing Bengal and we were discussing Karnataka. Over here, I would just like to draw attention towards a political will that is very essential in this case. In Karnataka, we had a committee. The House committee was constructed under the able leadership of one of the lady ministers, I don't remember the name, probably Shakuntala. And the report that was submitted to the House of Karnataka was most of these molestations and rapes in Karnataka were happening. You would smile at what I would say, and you would cry within. Were happening because of mobile phones. If such kind of reports are submitted, then I would say it is a mockery of the democracy, and we have to shun such kind of things.
Take action against
yes, take action. See, Shambhit, it's not about Karnataka. It's not about West Bengal. It's pan-India.
Dr. Patra, what would you want to say about...
Action needs to be taken against politicians who shoot their mouth off.
Dr. Patra, what would you want to say to the government of Madhya Pradesh? 600 plus 0 to 14 years in 2013 child rapes.
No, definitely, definitely. I right from the very beginning said that this is not an issue of BJP or Congress. It is a matter of politicians as a whole.
No.
And I told if our
And do you also agree? Do you also agree that without debate, without any argument cutting across political lines, the safety of children in schools and anywhere else should be paramount because they are the future?
No, definitely. Debate is an essential part of democracy.
Instead of generalizing this, can we start with this,
just a second.
this incident?
Yes.
No, I would say that debate is an essential part, and if you all remember, it was only because of the debate we had on the Nirbhaya case that law has itself changed.
Yes.
We had the Verma Commission.
But what about the attitude of the state government, of the state machinery?
But that's the thing, Shambhit. That's what we're trying to say, Dr. Patra. The fact is that the government has a power. Whether it's the state government or the central government, there is a power that is invested in you by people because they want to be protected. These are basics. Protection for their children is a basic requirement from a government. What are the state and central governments doing about it? Look at these numbers they're talking. They are horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
As far as the central government is concerned, I told, we have a Lakshman Rekha which we cannot cross because we have federalism in this country. So definitely, we have asked our report, we will take action on our report. But the law and order situation, we cannot intervene because the next day the debate would be changing as to how the state has intervened into the law and order situation of a state. And today, as some eminent panelists were suggesting that I should be talking in specifics, it is a case of Bengal. So I believe we should have had a representative from Bengal today who would have able to say as to why the Chief Minister, who herself is a lady, is trying to protect a school. Ironically,
it's a different story altogether, sir. It's a different story altogether because I agree with Onika there because what happens is when you reach out to politicians, all they do is indulge in a foot-and-mouth disease. They don't give you solutions. And the fact is, everything is reactive.
It's been happening everywhere. It used to happen when we were children. It used to happen when our parents were children as well. These happens all the time everywhere. Very few parents have guts to come up and report. So now the things are just coming to our notice.
Even now, Rupali, you're talking about post an event happening. You're talking about post an event happening. I am going one step. I am saying, why can't governments be proactive? Like Onika said, why can't there be strong fines for schools that don't conduct parent-teacher meetings, that schools that don't adhere to the basic security measures they've got to put in place when they're running children, youngsters? Why isn't the state government, state department being pulled up for lacunae?
The government has passed
I would like to come in for a minute
now. However, schools are coming up. These are mere guidelines. Good to know. We'll try to follow them, but they are not mandatory.
Yes. They're not. And Kushbu,
so
just before you give us your closing comments, Kushbu, just to add to what Anindita said earlier, the basic problem starts from the beginning. Are schools even profiling the people they're hiring? Who knows what kind of standards are being applied? Because in all of these cases, or at least most of these cases, these are non-teaching staff or teaching staff that are actually perpetrating these crimes.
It could be anybody.
I would like to ask every school
what measures do they have in place?
Please allow Kushbu to
when
make
they
her
hire
point.
people.
Yeah.
No, I would like to ask every school, every institution in this country as to when they hire the drivers and the conductors, how many times they go through their complete resume as to what they have done before, whether they have a legal license to drive the buses.
Yes.
None of the schools, or at least 90% of the schools, do not check the backgrounds of the people who are hired.
So
that's a very shameful thing.
And I think, as Rupali
I
put it...
also would like to add...
Yes.
Yes,
Kushbu.
I would like to say that one gentleman suggested, was talking about Nirbhaya. Please, I would like to remind everybody on this channel, the Nirbhaya case is not about the severity. After Nirbhaya, we have had many thousand cases. And let me tell you, every woman, every girl, every child who was raped is a Nirbhaya case. It's not the severity of the sexual offense. It's not the severity as to how she was raped. I think every sexual assault results to a Nirbhaya case because I know how it completely scars a child. So let's not compare. This is not Nirbhaya.
Right.
This is not so and so.
law. Every sexual assault should be treated like Nirbhaya.
Yes,
every sexual assault should be treated with the same severity as we deal with anything else. I do not like it when people say the severity of rape, the severity of the sexual assault. What are we talking about? A 2-year-old child being raped, a 4-year-old kid will be being raped, and an 18-year-old child being raped, a 60-year-old woman being raped, and you say the severity, whether a rod was shoved into her, whether there were 10 people who raped her, even if one man sexually molests or assaults a girl child, or a woman, I think it results to a Nirbhaya.
Yes, and
we need
the question
to stop
that we asked is
about the
whose
severity of
responsibility
every
it is, because it is a growing issue. It is something that stares in our face, and like somebody put it together today, it's a volcano waiting to erupt as far as the anger of the parents is concerned. Right now it's anxiety, it's worry, but it will translate into anger and it will manifest itself. And before it does that, the answer to the question perhaps is it's everybody's responsibility, and everybody better wake up to it and fulfill their responsibility and commitment, be it schools or be it the state. Dr. Patra and all the other ladies joining us on this panel this evening, thank you for joining us on debate number 2 on the News Hour.